so glad that you have decided to come to another session, and we're going to still be talking about finances and money. And I think that finances and money are very important because it allows relationships to stay together. More divorces get happen due to the fact that the money's not there or the expectation isn't there. So we need to be talking about how can we make more money. Now, you can say that the people that are very educated make a lot of money. I'm going to disagree with you. I've known some people that have been extremely well educated and they just don't apply themselves into that particular vocation because they're more about being educated than they are about working. And that's fine. That's not a judgment at all. So, what we need to do is figure out, how do you view money? Do you think that you're always going to be poor? Do you think that money is the root of all evil? Do you think money grows on trees? Well, the whole thing is that you know you need to understand how you view money in order to make money. Because if you're always putting a block between you and the money, it won't happen. If you allow it to have a good relationship and you believe that it is simply a tool, then guess what? You're going to absolutely have some great responses by money, and you'll have plenty of money. So, if we believe that we're always going to be poor, guess what? You are going to be poor. If you believe that you are always going to need money, well, yeah, you're going to need money. That's all there is to it. You're going to spend more than what you have. You're going to create habits that are not healthy as far as the stress level and anger and frustration. So we need to move away from that. And one of the ways that you can do that is very, very simple. And they commented recently on my Facebook page about it, and I thought it was wonderful. So I'm taking this, and the punchline will be later. So what we need to do is understand that the consequences of having no money or lack of money directly affects our social life and our personal intimacy. There's no vitality, and action just isn't going to happen in the bedroom unless we feel comfortable with the amount of money that's coming in. Understand that we do not need to be gazillionaires in order to have that vitality in the bedroom and have strong relationships in marriage. No, you can be earning minimum wage as long as there is a bond between the people and the partnership. Then it's amazing what can actually happen. And I have seen individuals that had 3 or 4 children, and they weren't making a lot of money, but they were happy and healthy and they provided for their children. But they had other resources. They had gardens, they had farms, they had friends that allowed them to be able to make some money on the side. So, what we need to do is that we have, typically we have never been educated about money. We have not had any kind of formal training. Now there are definitely trainings out here where you can learn about money. Is it a good idea to be trained about money? And the answer is it's worth pretty much every dollar. And you need to understand how money works. One of the things that you need to understand is where to put your money as far as investments. During an inflationary period, during a deflation period, during a flat market, during a rising market, during a falling market. You need to understand about stocks and bonds and how they affect your work. Well, with the way the economy is going right now today, it is in flux, and we need to be able to work within that because that's our environment, that's the pool we're playing in, and we need to be able to figure it out. So the example I'm going to give is a personal story. Back in 2008 when the stock market crashed, what was happening was I was heavily invested in real estate. I had rentals, I had loans out, I had investment properties. So my point here is that changed. a lot of my tenants lost their job. A lot of my tenants hung on as long as they could, and then they did the next right thing is they told me they were bailing out. Now, understand that what happened in my case, because of where I was and how leveraged I was, and leverage means that I had X amount of dollars in and I was earning Y dollars out, and I had a ratio of what the debt to the income or debt to what the value of the property was. Well, anyhow, I had uh, properties that were winners, and I had properties that were average, and I had properties that were dogs. They were blood sucking dogs. So what happened is that during this recession, I was looking for advice. I was looking for alternate sources of income because the income that I was making before just wasn't happening, and it was cleaning my clock. I had a negative cash flow that I thought was absolutely incredible, $10,000 a month, and I was talking to a friend at the time, and he was talking that his net bleed was $100,000 a month. Well, that helped me put it into perspective, but the point was is I was still in the soup, and I was still not happy, and I wasn't. My anxiety level was up, my stress level was up, and it just didn't work. So I had choices. I could lose the properties through foreclosure, cash for keys, get rid of them, sell them. Couldn't sell them because they were upside down. Or I could go out and make more money, and then from that more money I could pay the debt service and hang on to the properties. Well, one of the things that I did that was very silly is I tried to borrow my way out of the situation. Well, everybody knows that the stock market crash in the metro Atlanta area lasted from 2008 to about 2012, 4 years. Well, you can't borrow 4 years worth of money unless, of course, you're the U.S. government and make it. It's a horrible business plan. What needed to happen, and looking back, a lot of it did happen, but it didn't happen fast enough. I should have just gotten rid of it, just sucked it up in my ego and said, next. And that is a learning lesson that I had to go through. And it's a learning lesson a lot of people have to go through. They've got all this high credit card debt. They've got all these monthly payments for furniture, for cars, for this, for that. And it is just not healthy. So it needs to go away. Now, declaring bankruptcy on anything less than 100,000, I think, is rather silly. And the reason why is because you can make it. You can call your creditors. You can call the people that you owe money to, and you can work that out. And the whole thing is that, yeah, it's going to be stressful for a little while, but nonetheless, it's going to work. Now, one of the other things that happened to me during this period of time was I was taking advice from different people that I respected, really well respected. And they gave me horrible advice. And the reason why is they didn't ask me where I was and what I wanted to accomplish. They just gave me an off-the-cuff textbook kind of comment. And guess what? When I followed it, it just tanked. It was not a good idea. So how do we make changes? It's easy. Start learning about money. Get educated about money. Understand what negative feelings and emotions that you have towards money. And when you do, you're going to start learning that money is not a bad thing. It's just a tool, and you need to know how to use it. A screwdriver does not work as a hammer. A screwdriver does not work as a saw. If you want to do something, you need the right tools to do it. So one of the big things that is going to help you manifest more and more money is understanding that if you pay cash for everything, then what will happen is your life is going to get better. Because when you don't have the cash, you're not going to be able to spend it. And we need to focus ourselves on getting rid of that financial stress, financial anxiety, what it does to our self-esteem when we don't have good finances. And understand that men are the individuals that we count our we get our validation from how much money we have. And if we don't have any, then we don't have a lot of self-esteem. And you've also got to understand that your credit report isn't necessarily a good reflection upon what your net worth is or what your self-esteem should be. When back in 2008, what happened was is my credit score tanked because I was getting foreclosed on. The reality was that didn't really affect me because I soon realized that I could go out and borrow money from private lenders who I had a relationship with, and I could still make money in that economy. My point here is you need to make a comment. You need to take action. You need to start asking questions about money. It's easy to learn. It's some of the concepts are difficult to understand, but if you have somebody that knows how to explain them, it's easy enough done. I look forward to talking to you, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments section. You have a great day.